Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current national president, Dr. Mansur Alatunji, the fourth president of the association. Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current president of the association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. Engineering law with the theme, Oyo State, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, women in engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current national president, Dr. Mansur Alatunji, the fourth president of the association. Dr. Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current president of the association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, women in engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current national president, Dr. Mansur Alatunji, the fourth president of the association. Dr. Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current president of the association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, women in engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current national president, Dr. Mansur Alatunji, the fourth president of the association. Dr. Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current president of the association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, women in engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current national president, Dr. Mansur Alatunji, the fourth president of the association. Dr. Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current president of the association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, women in engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current National President, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth President of the Association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current President of the Association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, Women in Engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current National President, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth President of the Association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current President of the Association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, Women in Engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current National President, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth President of the Association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current President of the Association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, Women in Engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current National President, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth President of the Association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current President of the Association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, Women in Engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current National President, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth President of the Association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current President of the Association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, Women in Engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria Universities Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current national president, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth president of the association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current president of the association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, women in engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria Universities Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current national president, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth president of the association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current president of the association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, women in engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria Universities Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current national president, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth president of the association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current president of the association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, women in engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria Universities Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current national president, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth president of the association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current president of the association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, women in engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria Universities Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current national president, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth president of the association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current president of the association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, women in engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current National President, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth President of the Association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current President of the Association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, Women in Engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current National President, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth President of the Association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current President of the Association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, Women in Engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current National President, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth President of the Association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current President of the Association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, Women in Engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current National President, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth President of the Association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current President of the Association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, Women in Engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, Nuesa, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES 2020. Hosted by the current National President, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth President of the Association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current President of the Association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, Women in Engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, NUESAIR, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES, 2020. Hosted by the current national president, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth president of the association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current president of the association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, Women in Engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria University's Engineering Students Association, NUESAIR, National Secretariat. Present. National Engineering Summit, NES, 2020. Hosted by the current national president, Dada Mansur Alatunji, the fourth president of the association. Dada Mansur Alatunji is a first-class male student of Chemical Engineering Law Tech, Oyo State. As the current president of the association, he's organizing the first ever National Engineering Summit, which has been scheduled as 5 days program. With the theme, Engineering and Social Economic Development in a Post-COVID Era, featuring the Graduating League, quiz competition for secondary school, quiz and paper presentation for the undergraduate student, Women in Engineering. To register, visit www.newsnational.org.ng. Proudly brought to you by Nigeria University Engineering Students Association. Nigeria.
Hello, good morning, everybody. You're all welcome to the Women in Engineering session of the Nuesa National Summit. I believe that you have enjoyed the last two sessions, the one held yesterday and the one held the day before yesterday. My name is Azizat, and before we get into the panel session proper, I would like us to have the opening. Now, the opening prayer in a totally different way today. We'll be taking the national prayer. And most times when I moderate sessions and people ask me what the national prayer is, the national prayer is the second stanza of the national anthem. The second stanza of the national anthem. Please, ladies and gentlemen, engineers here present, let us join me as we take the opening prayer of the panel session here today. And then it goes thus: O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and live in just and truth, great lofty height attain, to build a nation where peace and justice reigns. If we look deep into the prayer, we see that it's an all-encompassing prayer, and it doesn't have to, it's exactly the prayer that we need as Nigerians. We want our noble cause to be well directed. We want honesty and truth. We want a great nation. And so with that, I welcome us all to the Women in Engineering session of the National Engineering Student Association Summit. Moving on, we are going to be taking the national anthem. The national anthem, that's what we'll be taking now. I'm trying to have it projected on the screen.
To serve our Father with love and strength and faith. The labor of
in vain to serve God and freedom, peace, and unity. Oh, oh, God of creation. Oh, sorry about that. Uh, Moving on, I said that the labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. And that particularly is what resonates well with me the most each time I get to recite the national anthem. And as young adults that we are, we know what Nigeria used to be and we know what Nigeria is now. We should always make efforts to ensure that we get to build the Nigeria of our dreams. Once again, you're welcome to the Women in Engineering session. It's a panel session and I'm very, very excited to be here with you. I would like to know how much you can hear me, if you can hear me as much as I want you to. So I want you to go to the chat session and just say hello or hi, or just something to ensure that you're interacting with me as much as I am interacting with you. Yes, please just go to the chat session and then I would like to see how much you are okay. Thank you very much. I believe that most of us here present, we attended the session held yesterday, and the session held day before yesterday. And without particularly forgetting the theme of the event, which is engineering and socio-economic development in the post-COVID era. The COVID-19 took us all by surprise, and the earlier we begin to normalize and live in the situation, the better for all of us and the better for our growth. Once again, my name is Busari Azizat, and I'm a graduate of agricultural engineering, and I'll be moderating the panel session today. Moving forward, I would like to invite the visionary president, the man who helped us put all of this together, to come and give us the welcome address. I welcome President Dauda Mansour. Please come on to come and give your welcome address. Thank you. Mr. President. Okay, I want to believe that Mr. President is having some issues with his internet. Mr. President. Okay, Mr. President is here with us. We're sorry for the glitch in the transmission over there.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. President, you're welcome, sir.
Good morning to you all. My name is Nuesa. I am the national president of the the president of Nigerian Society of Engineers, the president of APWEN, the invited panelists, the BTG coordinator, Nuesa National Executive, all chapter presidents.
Okay, I think Mr. President is having some issues with his internet. Okay. I think we can, ladies and gentlemen, please pardon us for that glitching information. It's the internet that we're having issues with.
I'm sorry about
Mr.
that.
President, are you back now?
I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Greeting you all with all form of greeting. Once again, my name is Dauda Mansour. I am the national president of the All Engineering Students in Nigeria. It's my pleasure to welcome you all again today. Today, we'll be hosting our meta in engineering to leverage on every resources we'll be making available today to promote female engineers. Engineering is known to be a male-dominated field. People are still generally surprised to see women in engineering. It is not uncommon to ask women about why she decided to become an engineer in the first place. For decades, as individual and as a group, women in engineering have strived to encourage females to study engineering. While those efforts were brought more women to study engineering, the problem is that many quit during and after school. Focusing solely on education doesn't address the fact that women tend to leave the profession at higher rates than men. As a step forward towards coping this fact, this panel of discussion is organized for the whole engineering female in Nigeria to bridge the gap of transition from campus to the corporate world. Fellow students, I enjoin you all to maximize this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. That was a very powerful opening speech. That was, oh my God, what is going on? That was a very powerful, very powerful opening. So usually, before I move on, I'd like to know if you all can hear me. Please, can you go to the chat and let me know if you can hear me? Okay, thank you very much. That was a very powerful opening speech, Mr. President. As a person who studied engineering myself, the how we switch from being students to being professional in the world as female engineers is usually a problem that we need to address. And we have a very awesome panel to help discuss this issue. So I hope we have enough female engineers and engineering students here today, and that you would have your questions ready so that we can have them answered as soon as we can. Moving on, like I said, I have a very beautiful panel to discuss with today, and I'm very excited. You see the smile on my face. Reading through their bios, I'm very honored to be the one having to discuss with them on the issue of women in engineering today. So I'll be reading their biographies, and I enjoin you all to just pay attention to this very rich panelists that I have for you today. First is I'll be welcoming engineer Mrs. Chioma Okoli. I believe she's here already. And engineer Mrs. Chioma Okoli is the managing director of Olivet Cloud Solutions Nigeria Limited. Yes, so our biography goes thus. Engineer Chioma Okoli is an enterprise solutions engineer, and she's presently the managing director of Olivet Cloud Solutions Nigeria Limited. She has over 18 years experience in software management and digital marketing with vast experience in cloud computing and ERP implementation. She has assisted over 6,000, that's huge, 6,000 small and large businesses in education and government agencies to implement innovative solutions. She is the founder of SME Business Clinic and sits on the board of Opening Cleaning Enterprises Limited and many other organizations. She is a multi-talented serial entrepreneur. She holds numerous technical credentials from Google, Microsoft, SAP, Sage, Soho, Facebook, Twitter, and Amazon, and specializes in consulting and training entrepreneurs on growing hot technologies. I expertise in aforementioned hot technologies with many years of diverse experience as a trusted technical advisor to many companies, has enabled many enterprises to adopt a more flexible, adaptable, and collaborative and smarter approach to work. She holds a degree in electronic engineering, I beg your pardon, from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and Master of Information Technology with numerous IT certifications. Engineer Chioma is also certified by Google, Zoho, Microsoft, SAP, Sage, Hootsuite, HubSpot. At this point, I want to be hearing rounds of applause because this is really huge. She is a very meticulous and reliable person with readiness to learn, face challenges, solve problems, and perform in diverse areas as may be required. She is flexible and versatile. She's able to maintain a sense of humor under pressure. She's poised and competent with demonstrated ability to easily transcend cultural differences and thrive in deadline-driven environments with excellent team building leadership skills. She's a member of several professional associations, both national and international, including the Society of Women Engineers USA, Nigeria Society of Engineers, the NSC, Nigeria Institute of Management, the NIM, Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, APWEN, National Society of Black Engineers, Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, the IEEE, and the International Association of Engineers, NECA's network of entrepreneurial women, the NNEW. As a woman in ICT profession, Engineer Chioma has a strong passion to see the emancipation of women and girls through ICT-driven society. Most things she engaged in is reflection for passion, God, people, women, and communities. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Engineer Mrs. Chioma Okoli Chima to our midst. I'll be going on to read the bio of another awesome woman. Her name is Engineer Mrs. Fumilola Ojelade, FNSE. Join me as I read a bio. She has been an APWEN member since 2003. Fumilola has been a visible and effective leader in the association at both executive and non-executive capacity. She was the chairman of Abuja chapter of APWEN from 2011 to 2013. The chapter experienced total rebranding under her leadership. Her invaluable works and impressive projection of the association earned her the position of APWEN brand ambassador in October 2014. Fumilola is the manager at the Nigerian Security Printing and Minting PLC, the sole manufacturer of banknotes in West Africa. That is huge. In 16 years of working with the Mint, she has progressed through the supply chain, handling various responsibilities in research and development, quality control, production, and procurement. She holds a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and earned a master's degree in the same field from the University of Lagos. Presently, she is a master's degree candidate at the Harvard University. Women engineers, are you listening to me? Are you listening to this powerful bio of Engineer Fumilola? Fumilola has taken several career enhancement courses, including supply chain management program at the Cranfield University in the United Kingdom. She is a chartered engineer registered with the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN. Ladies and gentlemen, engineers here present, please join me in welcoming Engineer Mrs. Fumilola Ojelade, FNSC, to our midst. Moving on, I'd like to welcome Engineer Shetima. She's also part of the panelists today. Engineer Shetima Ghana. She is the Director, Ministry of Works and Transport, Borno State. Okay. Yes. So Engineer Corey Shetima Ghana has been excelling since her undergraduate and youth service years. A reminder that in national service, at that young age, a golden egg stands out. Determined to excel in one's chosen career, do indeed take one quite far and shouldn't therefore be trifled or be wasted. Engineer Corey Shetima Ghana left great imprints in the places she worked, such as the Bank of the North Limited, where she excelled as a civil engineer and property officer in the property department of the bank. From there, she joined the workforce of the government of Borno State, honoring her despite honoring her desire to practice a profession to the core. She was actively engaged in road construction, drainages, dual carriageways, and numerous high-risk projects, to which she added verve, accuracy, and integrity. She is a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. That is, she's MNSC. She's also a member of the Council for Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, and also a member of Association of professional women engineers in Nigeria and several others. Ladies and gentlemen in the house, women engineers and women engineering students especially, I would like you to join me in welcoming Engineer Corey Shetty-Magana to our midst. You're very welcome, Ma. Thank you very much for joining us. Moving on, I'll be reading the biography of Engineer Chinyere. Engineer Chinyere Inenna Igbebwe. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing the name correctly. But just like Deolu would always say, I'm a Nigerian, I'm a global citizen. So Engineer Chinyere Inenna Igbebwe, MNSC, mark when MNIWE-FIMC. Engineer Chinyere Inenna Igbebwe attended Cambridge Primary School in Owerri, Imo State. Kaduna Capital School, Kaduna State. She attended Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria, where she got a bachelor's in engineering from the Department of Water Resources and Environmental Engineering. She also bagged an executive master's in business administration from Metropolitan University, London, and a diploma in conflict management and resolution from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. She is the founder of Bridge the Gap, where she pours out her passion as she explores the opportunity for youth via trainings and linkages. She is also the managing partner of Kronberg Engineering Limited. Engineer Chinyere Inenna Igbebwe is a national executive member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. She is the chairman, NSE Media and Publicity Committee, national vice chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Water Engineers. As an environmentalist, she is an ardent climate change and WASH advocate, a STEM ambassador, and a public speaker. She is a trainer that believes in justice and fairness. She is a silent achiever and she loves to encourage people. She has served in various capacities in different fora and groups and has received prestigious merit and distinguished awards from different institutions. Engineer Chinyere Inenna Igbebwe has made presentation at local levels and international levels. Her hobbies include traveling, hiking, and researching, and she is wonderfully blessed with a beautiful family. Ladies and gentlemen in the house, please join me in welcoming Engineer Chinyere Inenna Igbebwe to our midst. You're very welcome, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. I will be reading the bio of one very awesome engineer, and then after which I would move on to the panel session proper. Her name is Engineer Owolabi Atinuke Buraola, MNSC, MNIEE, and also a registered member of Koren. Engineer Owolabi Atinuke Buraola, MNSC, MNIEE, RENG, is the Managing Director and CEO of Ruvicat International Limited, an indigenous company in engineering, procurement, and construction, also specializing in supplies of a wide range of engineering, electrical distribution materials, project management. The company has earned a reputation as an upwardly mobile professional organization within the engineering profession. Prior to setting up of our organization, Engineer Owolabi garnered work experience within and outside Nigeria. She worked with Shoreline Power, a subsidiary of ABB Electrical Systems, for about 2 years, and later joined Schneider Electric. While at Schneider Electric, she outstandingly contributed to the growth and profitability of the company. With her bold and passionate enthusiasm, she made the low and medium voltage portfolio of Schneider Electric a high-ranking brand within the power sector. That's very beautiful. She obtained a bachelor's in electrical engineering from University of Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria, and also a master's in engineering and management at Coventry University, United Kingdom. She is a member of professional bodies, and she's active in promoting engineering profession and has served in several capacities. Engineer Mrs. Atinuke Uraola is a diligent business executive with can-do spirit, which propels her towards excellence and remarkable success in all her endeavors. Atinuke has a passion for community development and poverty alleviation among the downtrodden and the less privileged. She is the founder and currently runs two NGOs, namely Church of Love and Lifting Hands Foundation and Ruvicat Solar Foundation. Touch of Love primary focus is the provision of comfort and relief for widows and senior citizens, while Ruvicat Solar Foundation was set up primarily to alleviate poverty among the STEM youth and also create job opportunities for them through a series of free training programs in pursuant of some of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. She has also won several awards of excellence. Some of our awards are the Mentorial Service Award from the APWEN, Outstanding Professional Women Awards, and the Built Environment Award from the CED magazine, Special Recognition Award from an Outstanding Service from the Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. Wow, I wish this was a physical engagement where I can hear people clapping from the background. This is really huge. She has won the Leadership Award from the Rotary Club of Iju Spring in recognition of contributions towards service to humanity, widow and senior citizens empowerment. She is well-traveled and has attended many international executive conferences and seminars, both in Nigeria and across America, Europe, and Middle East. She enjoys herself playing golf, and she's a member of the Ikeja Golf Club. She's happily married with lovely children. Ladies and gentlemen here present, please help me. I don't know if you are as excited as I am. I don't know if you are as fired up as I am, but please join me in welcoming Engineer Owolabi Atinuke Uraola to our panel session here today. You are very welcome, ma'am. If you had followed through the bios that I just read today, you will see that all women here, they are able to, they have risen to the top of their career, and also they are able to deal with other things. They are able to, apart from engineering, they are also able to touch lives and make impact. And that is what life is all about. As much as we try to rise professionally, we should also try to make impact in other people's lives. So you're welcome. You're welcome to our midst here today. So we're going to be going to the panel session proper. We're going to be going to the panel session proper. And I'm very sorry. I'm really sorry for the oversight. Engineer Fumilola, I'm really sorry. Engineer Fumilola is the president of APWEN, and I'm really sorry for not for the oversight. I'm really sorry. Moving on to the panel session proper. We realize that it's usually in most classes, in most engineering classes, in faculties of engineering, we always have issues with women, being in the class. In my class, we're not even up to 5% of engineering students in my class, and we were about 68. Also, I also had a friend in electrical engineering department who they were not even up to 5 people who were females in that class. This is, this is one of these things that we see as women in engineers. We don't have enough women in engineers, and even when we have women who study engineering, they don't go on to practice engineering. And this is one of the things that we would trash here today. Once again, I want to apologize to the appointed president, Engineer Fumilola. I'm very sorry for the oversight. Moving on, I would like Engineer Fumilola to take this question first. Engineer Fumilola, I would like you to take this question. And the question goes thus: as one of the leading engineering organizations in the country, we know that your focus is owning the skills of female engineers in the country. What are the necessary skills that is needed for building female engineers in this present age? Engineer Fumilola, I would like you to answer that.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a pleasure to be here. And congratulations to the Nuesa president on organizing this event. So you're asking about the skills of that you expect a female engineer to develop, or can you take that question again if you don't mind? Can I have the question again? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted. I'm not muted.
Okay, can you hear me now, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Sorry for that. The question I asked was, in the present age, what are the necessary skills that budding female engineers need to possess in order to thrive in the engineering profession?
Oh, okay. Okay, well, the way I look at it is that already as a graduate engineer, you already have what you can call the hard skill. You went to school, you learned all the calculus and all that. So we will not be asking you to pick up those skills anymore. The one that you need now to progress is what I would call the soft skills. And this is something that I found that a lot of us are, as engineers, that we lack. We're used to the hard things that we studied in school and all that. But every profession needs to develop the soft skills of life to be able to actually progress. The first thing I will mention is that you need to create a track record of diligence and hard work. Let them know that if they pass any assignment to you, it's going to get done. And that's not so difficult. Even in school now, as you are still in school, you will be able to identify those among your students who work hard. I remember when I was in secondary school, there was this lady who she didn't really, I think she wasn't so brilliant, but we could tell that she always studied very hard. So create that kind of track record for yourself, as a young female engineer. Let them know that you are hardworking and that any assignment that gets to you, you will always get it done. Let it be that when they give you an assignment, your boss or whoever assigns it to you can actually go to sleep knowing that it's going to get done. And it doesn't take much to create that kind of track record. once you do one assignment and the second assignment, they will naturally pass the third one to you and ask you that, look, if you want this assignment done, just give it to this person. And she will put in all her effort. So that is very important. And that is a soft skill that you need to develop. Create a track record of diligence and of hard work. Another one you need to do is that you can volunteer for assignments if you are not called upon. Because there are times that, especially as a woman, they are even afraid to give you assignments. If they think it is something that is physical, they are reluctant. They are thinking you will not be able to handle it. So naturally, they will just pass it over to a man around you. So if nobody invites you to volunteer to do the assignment by yourself, that is a soft skill. Some of us are not, we are not extroverts, we are introverted. So it's very easy when they don't call you. You are like, well, nobody called me. Not that you're angry, but you are just happy that, thank God, they did not ask me to go and do that. But the way you can do is that even if they don't invite you to do the assignment, you volunteer to do it by yourself. And they may first look, are you sure you can handle it? Let me just handle it. Let me try it. And then you put in everything, every effort that you can to make sure that you get it done. So that is another thing that you can do to get, would I call it a traffic of assignments coming to you. Another thing you can also do as a young engineer or as a young person that is in the industry is, if you are in a gathering or in a meeting in your place of work, don't just sit there and take notes and observe. Speak. If they ask a question or something, give an answer. Sometimes what I realize about a lot of men is that even when what they are saying doesn't make sense, they just say it. So don't be afraid to speak up, because when you don't speak, it gets to a point and your voice is not heard. Then when they're looking for someone to give an assignment, they don't even remember you. They've never heard your voice. But if you are the type that will always talk or that will always say something, if an opportunity comes, then already somewhere in their subconscious, you are there. So it becomes a natural thing for them to just call on you. That let's give that lady. Her trouble is too much self. But when they give it to you and then you prove yourself, then that is a way to establish a track record, because then you are called upon to do something. Another way that as a young engineer you can grow and become great is to make yourself visible. That's another soft skill called visibility. Visibility does not mean that you're a loud person. It doesn't mean that you're always everywhere, you dress loud and then you want to be seen. No. Visibility in this case means that you need to be seen to be contributing. Don't do it quietly in a corner. I have a younger sister who is in the UK. She's a software engineer and she's very, very quiet. She's introverted, but she's very brilliant, extremely brilliant. And she said one of the things her boss, they always make these comments and say she's quietly making her mark. So despite that she's hardworking, they find out that she's always somewhere. Her quietness makes them to believe that she's not so bright. But when she delivers, they are pleased. But that is not the way to get to where you are going. You need to be visible. You need to study situations around you and make suggestions on how things can be done better. Offer to implement this. Yes.
UPS, sir. Okay.
Are you talking to me?
No, sorry for the glitch.
Okay.
It's a glitch.
Offer to implement a solution. My sister was giving a mentoring session sometime last week. And one of the things she said was that, she's actually in the UK, that a guy came to work in the company where she works, and that there was a way they were keeping a record of a particular event they normally do. And the guy just offered and say, why don't we just put this in Excel and then use Excel to be implementing it? She offered by himself, designed the template, put all the calculations that needed to put, and that even now that the guy is no longer in the company, that is what they are using. What that means is that nobody can forget that guy. So you need to make yourself visible, by making contributions and letting people know that you are contributing. Another soft skill you may want to develop is centrality, to be in the center of something. Seek positions that put you in the center. One that requires you to interact with the highest number of people, for example. Such positions vary from organization to organization. Where I work, for example, I used to be a buyer in the procurement department. As a matter of fact, I was the first engineer. I mean, they've always posted people like admin and all that, people that study procurement. I was the first engineer to be posted into the procurement department many years ago. I'm no longer there. But it made me to interact with all levels of staff in the company, including top management, because of that assignment. So what I'm able to deliver there, it made a lot of people to know me. And even when, like now I'm in Lagos, I'm no longer in the Abuja factory. Even when I go to Abuja once in a while and I've seen some new people, and once they just mention my name, they say, oh, I've heard about you. And I'm just shocked. Heard about me, that what? That is, they had never seen me, but they just heard about me. So those are, I'll stop there. But those are the kind of skills that you can develop for yourself, soft skills that you can develop that can help you as a budding female engineer to grow in the profession. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that amazing tips that you drop, particularly on visibility. I happen to have a personal story. So when I was in secondary school, I used to pray every Friday. And then when we got to SS2 and they wanted to choose prefect. So after school, I heard that the vice principal called one of the teachers and asked them to check the record of that girl that usually prays every Friday on the assembly. And that was how I was, my record was checked, and they saw that I was fit to be a prefect in the school at the time. So projecting ourselves to be visible as women would help us to go a very long way in going forward in our career. Thank you very much, Engineer Mrs. Fumilola, for those tips that you've shared. I'm going to call on Engineer Chinyere Igwebwe, and particularly the question I would like to ask her is I would like her to share what it was like, climbing the cadre of the engineering profession. What challenges did she go through, and what lessons can she share from that? Engineer Chinyere Inena. Sorry, ma'am. We can't hear you, ma'am. Can you hear us, ma'am? We can't hear you.
Can you hear me? I can hear
yes,
you.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you. My president, Nuesa president, and all protocols duly observed. Your question to me is, was the climbing the ladder to where I am today, what it's like, I guess?
Yes, as a female engineer. Yes, and
what female engineer?
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because I went to a secondary school where I wasn't able to, we didn't have further maths, and I found myself in engineering and I have to deal with further maths. So it happens that at the end of every lecture, there's a further maths class, I have to meet my classmates to help me, push me further. So I continue like that pushing myself until I was able to graduate. Again, remember that in my class, we have 5 girls in the class, in the Department of Water Resources and Environmental Engineering, ABU then, we were 5. And by the time I asked questions, I realized that in each department, the ladies, the girls don't graduate with their mates. They either fall out or, they drop out of school 200, 300 levels. And I made it a duty to make sure that the girls in my class all graduated. And that happened because I was the first female class rep in the Faculty of Engineering from 100 levels till I finished. So I wasn't easy, but God gave me the wisdom. I was able to work with all the boys in the class, and we identified the brilliant ones, and I shared the courses to them. So at the end of every class each day,
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear us?
Those ones will come take the courses again and the classes again for few. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, fine. So we continued that way and we all graduated. I didn't graduate with my mates. I graduated after they had graduated. I had an extra year that's a different story altogether. So you have these challenges of sexual harassment, but the point I want to say is if you are focused and you know what you are doing, you can always find your way. The most important thing is be focused, be determined, and know what you want. I started with medicine, but I had migraine from my primary school. I've been having migraine till I entered university. I couldn't cope, so I had to go into engineering, and that's how I found myself in engineering, and I have not regretted it till date. You will face challenges. Men in the male-dominated world, they may not want you to compete with them. Men don't like competition. But like my president has said, if you make yourself visible and what you are always meeting up with deadlines, there is no way you will not be recognized. I think the basic thing that helped me was that focus, that determination, knowing what I want per time and driving at that. That helped me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Engineer Chinyere, for those tips that you shared. Particularly, I was going to go to sexual harassment, but before then, I would like to bring Engineer Corey Shetima on board. Engineer Corey Shetima, we've said it time and time again that engineering is a male-dominated industry. So I'd like to ask you to offer a recommendation on increasing the female expertise in the engineering profession. What do we need to do differently? We know that some people, right from their secondary school, they don't even get motivated to apply for engineering. They rather go for basic health sciences or basic medical sciences because they feel it's a place where they have their footing as females. But engineering is very, very beautiful, and it's a profession that I am very proud of. So what recommendation would you offer so that we can increase female expertise in the engineering profession? Engineer Corey Shetima. Engineer Shetima? Okay, I guess she's having issues with her network. Part of the issues we have in the country. Quickly, I would move to Engineer Atinuke. Engineer Atinuke Olabi. Engineer Atinuke, are you here with us?
Yes. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so I would like you to help us address the issue of sexual harassment and assault of the female gender in the industry. what can we do differently to ensure that we are able to reach the peak of our careers without having to go through any of those issues.
Okay, thank you. My presidents, Upper President Ejuna Odela Rifunola, Nuesa President, and all the coordinators, I want to really appreciate you for putting this together for the younger ones coming up. Wow, what is the first step you need to do? I would advise you to discover yourself. I don't know if you are hearing me well.
We can hear you loud and clear, ma'am.
Hello?
We can hear you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I think the first thing you need to do is to discover yourself. Who are you? If you're able to discover, to know the kind of person you are, as we know that we have so many resources available there, but what are the internal resources, as in the one that is actually pertaining to you? You need to activate those resources first and leverage on those resources. When you talk about those resources, you look at the 3 Ps. I'm going to use 3 Ps to illustrate. I actually sent it to your Nuesa president if it's possible for him to say, so that you will really understand where you need to be. When you talk about this purpose, why are you in engineering? Someone said the other time, okay, you have 5 females. I don't think the sizes really matter anything, but why are you that in that profession? Are you there because it is actually meant for men to progress? Are you there to absorb? You need to define the purpose. You need to discover yourself. You need to define the purpose of you being in engineering, of you being in that profession. There's no gender in engineering. And taking back to the primary school, if I'm wrong, you might correct me, Busari. When we're growing, girls tend to do better than boys, maybe from primary, secondary schools.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So there's no big deal studying engineering. So when you're able to define that, you move to what is called personality, your attitude, your character. You need to work on your character. You need to discover yourself on that way. Who am I? I'm going into this profession. I'm into this profession. What kind of personality do I have? What kind of attitude do I have towards it? Are you someone that is so self-centered? Do think about yourself. If that person is you, then you don't need this profession. Because when you are self-centered, you think about yourself. And in this engineering profession, you need to build up people. You need to have a very good team for you to succeed. Then you see yourself as an asset in this profession. If you're able to see yourself as an asset in that profession, that will guide you, because that will take you to the next step of your career, to be able to know whether you're actually on the right track or not. Then you all need to know, develop yourself. Are you also a role model? Are you ready to impact others too? If you're able to know those resources in you and you're able to activate it, can you hear me well? Hello?
I hear you. We can hear
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you loud and
clear. If you're able to get those resources, you're able to activate those resources in you, it will help you. And that will take you to another step, which is passion. That will make you to be so passionate about the profession. It's not meant for men, it's meant for us. So far, you are so intelligent. You have built up your emotional intelligence. You have built up yourself. This will take you to your passion. And this is the passion that will drive you to the desire you want. And what are these desires you need to know? Hunger for knowledge. Because you so much have passion for this profession, you want to learn more about this. And this will bring about self-development for you to be able to develop more on yourself, learn a lot of things, acquire more skills for yourself, and making you to be competent. So when you're able to do that, you're able to build up that confidence in people that, okay, I can stand. I have this confident mindset. You'll be able to excel in this. Then you talk about focus. You need to be focused in this profession. And when you are so focused, you'll be so committed to what you are doing. And when people see that you are so committed to this, they respect you. Why be focused? Why be so committed to it? You'll be so diligent in what you do. And when you are acquiring all this, you are carrying assets to yourself, you're adding value to yourself, and you choose role models, mentors. That's why you have an appointment there for you. If you don't know where to go, you run to appointment. From there, you'll be able to get mentors. I'm telling you, that will groom you up. That will shape you. And if you look at it now, we have a Wabika Solar Foundation. In that is part of what we have developed. That, okay, a lot of young graduates are coming out of school. Do they really have direction? Do they really have focus? So that's why we have decided to train a lot of youth corp members, both female and guys. And they're doing well. And why we are doing that is not just on what you want to do. We tell them what you need to know. We train them a lot. Is it on project management? Is it you also need to develop these commercial skills in you? How can you attain to the top? You need this asset in you. You need to add so much value to yourself and have right attitude to work. If you are able to have right attitude, if you're able to prove to them, even in the organization, that no, let me tell something, no organization will want to harass any lady that is an asset to them, that is adding value to them. You prove yourself, develop this self-worth, make yourself to be so valuable in your company. Nobody can harass you. And while you are doing that, learn to climb the ladder. Don't cut corners. You have this ladder in you. Stop taking some routes that is not really valuable. Those things will prevent you from sexual harassment. What are the things you need to learn? You need to know that while you are moving up this thing, avoid taking all those easy routes. Follow the right steps. Acquire more knowledge. When you acquire so much knowledge and you're such an asset to the company, nobody will harass you. They will be running after you. They will want to learn from you. And I think if you are able to gather all these qualities in you, I don't think, fine, it's a pandemic that we must deal with. But you yourself, can you deal with it first? You have to check yourself. How do you dress? How do you see yourself? When people are talking, contribute, make your points known to them. So be so visible, just like what my president said. I don't think anybody can harass you. I'm in this field. Like you've read my profile, I move a lot with guys in the power sector. But one thing I've discovered is that when I'm going to that place, I don't go there to ask them that, what can you give me? I always go there to tell them, this is what I can do for you. I want to add value to you. I won't get to a company, PSN, to say, oh, sir, please, can you give me a contract? What can you give me? I will tell you, I must have identified the problems you have and get it to you. I will tell you, this is the right thing, sir. Sir, can I provide these solutions to you? They look at me, oh, she knows what is there. What are the needs? These are the things that you need to look at. Nobody has ever harassed me in this public because in the past sector, despite that, most of the people will say they are men. But when they want to talk today, go to Wabika Solar Foundation, go to Wabika International, you get the best product. That is a value that I've added to myself, to the company. And not just say, please, can you get this? When you start saying, please, please, they take you for granted. So these are the things that you need to develop. Who am I? Am I so passionate? Do I have right attitude to my work? What is my character? You have to build up that a good character in you and respect your men as well. Get role models if you really also want to climb. If you are going through a lot of things, etc., you know people to run to that will guide you, that will tell you the right thing, and that will really shape you more. If there's anything, thank you. And I guess with this, you must, above all, discover yourself first and activate those resources in you, which is purpose, personality, and passion. Those ones will drive you, will take you, will make you to excel and stop all this sexual harassment around.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am, for those tips that you shared with us. One key takeaway that I have from your tips is that you should identify what you can offer, what value can you give, and not what people can give you. Thank you so much for sharing the 3 P's with us, which is purpose, personality, and passion, and making us understand that those would help us and would help drive us to the peak that we all seek. Ladies and gentlemen in the house, now is the time for you to start putting your questions together. Put your questions together that you might want to ask this beautiful panel of engineers moving forward. Okay, so my next question would go to Engineer Chioma Okoli Chima, and the question is, with the present rise of unemployment rates, leaving females vulnerable, what can female graduates, what can we do to escape this menace? Engineer Chioma Okoli Chima, you're very welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my president, the APOEM president, and the Nuesa president. All protocol duly observed. I'll go straight to that question. We actually find ourselves in trying moments. But in that still trying moment, we are still exposed to opportunities. It depends how you see it. You asked the skills or what can the engineers, female engineers do in order to be able to gain employment, right? That was your question.
Yes, so that they can escape vulnerability in Nigeria, taking the unemployment rate into consideration.
Okay. In order to gain employment, we've seen over time that normal BSc or B engine you obtain from university is no longer enough for you to be able to get jobs. So in the midst of this, what can you do as a student, as someone that's left the school, a young female engineer? One is, I advise, like our president mentioned, visibility. Offer volunteer services. There's so many organizations now that have been affected by pandemic. You find out that they can't even afford to pay their current staffs. What do? You don't have a job, you're looking for being employed. One thing a female engineer can do in order to pave her way or create visibility is offer volunteer services. Don't sit at home. Yes, sit at home. I have a lady that said, I just want to volunteer. But that lady didn't stay up to 2 weeks and they converted her because she has what to do. Female engineer, help you showcase yourself. Having necessary skills needed for employment now, as I made mention earlier, is no longer certificate alone. There are soft skills which we engineers, female engineers, since we are focusing on female engineers, needs in a time like this. Soft skills. Technology skills. Every business now is being driven by technology. And you can still see some people in the interview panel, you know how to use the computer? They will say no. Can you browse? They will say no. So you can see. One is visibility, volunteer. Look for graduate trainee programs. There are so many graduate trainee programs going on. Get skills, get skills. There are so many skills. Like Atunuke made mention of the solar foundation, the foundation. They were teaching engineers on solar skills. There are so many graduate programs now going on. People acquiring, there's a tech at home series offered by our office, whereby we have been training people, young engineers too. So go for these skills, acquire the right skills. There is a big gap, communication gap, between the curriculum in school and the skill set needed in the industry. So a female engineer will be focused to know, what do I need for this particular career choice, and try and equip herself with the skills. In schools, our curriculum does not cover entrepreneurship or the skill set, soft skill set you need in workplace, but it's the duty of the young engineers to go for this skill. As I made mention, offer volunteer services. Look for organizations you admire that suits your career focus. Write to them. They want to offer. You will see, once they've seen what you can deliver, they will employ you. That's one. So with this, getting the right skill, even now that people are home, that are locked down, is a very good time for people to equip themselves with the market skills, not the skills in school. Yes, the skills in school and the one in the market, there is a big gap.
Big gap.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Chioma, for what you have shared. And I want to particularly hammer on what you have said about. I want to particularly hammer on what you have said about the gap between the university and the industry. A number of us leave school without particularly understanding that we are not fully formed to take on roles, and then we feel bad when we apply and then we are not gotten back to. So volunteering our skills so that we can learn and so that we can upskill to the level of the industry is something that we should take seriously. Thank you very much, beautiful panels of engineers that I have engaged with today. It's a great pleasure to have done this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions to ask the panel of engineers, please, now is the time to drop those questions. Before I'll begin to take your questions, I would like to ask Engineer Fumilola, Madam President, I beg your pardon. I would like to ask a question, and I want to know, or I want to believe I'm speaking the minds of all female engineering students and graduates here present. I want to know how young female engineers can tap into opportunities that can help them grow in their careers, how they can tap into it through Upwin. Madam President.
Yeah, thank you for your question, dear facilitator. I think I should start by saying something about Upwin first before we go on. Upwin means Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria. It's a division of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and it is the umbrella body of all female engineers in Nigeria. We have chapters in 34 locations in Nigeria, different states, and we also have collegiate chapters in universities and some polytechnics also. And our mission essentially is to improve the numerical strength of female engineers. I've had your president say, and which you have also said, even from school you will see how many girls are in your class now. That tells you what percentage of female engineers will be in the market by the time you graduate. So we want to continue to increase the awareness that engineering is a career for girls also, and thereby improving the numerical strength of female engineers. We want to encourage women to achieve professional excellence as engineers and leaders. And we also want to promote the engineering profession as a positive force in enhancing the quality of life. So as a student, one of the ways that you can benefit from anything is to get involved. That is the first thing. And for example, you are students, the first thing you want to do in your university, your campus, wherever you are, is there a chapter of APWEN there? Is there a collegiate chapter of APWEN there? Earlier, we were saying that you should volunteer to do things. Now, if there is no chapter of, there's no collegiate chapter of APWEN there, one way you can start is to have one. Request from us that, okay, someone has to volunteer to take the lead and say, okay, in this my school, talk to your head of department or your team that you want to have this body of the female engineering students. And then communicate with APWEN National and tell us, oh, we have 20 or 50 female engineering students who would like you to inaugurate a chapter. That is where to start. Then you have created, you're on your way to creating a network of people. So when you get involved in the things that we do, that is the only time that you can actually benefit. Because if now they require us to get, maybe a company requires of us, oh, we need a female, maybe someone in year 5, studying mechanical engineering, for example. We don't have schools by ourselves. We will come to universities. But guess what? We're going to look at our collegiate chapters. So the first thing you want to do is to hook yourself, plug yourself in. Once you plug yourself in and you are active and you take part in the things that are being done, there is no way you will not be noticed. You have made yourself visible. You have put yourself in the center, like I said. You're already building skills that you are going to use when you leave school. And that is just now I look at it, how many of us are here now on the platform? We are less than 30, and this includes even all your panelists. Now we are saying that this is supposed to be a forum for all engineering students in Nigeria. I want to believe that some of them probably hooked up on YouTube and they are watching. But the thing about the YouTube booking is that you can't contribute, for example. Maybe somebody is there who read their questions and tell us. But if you go to the YouTube now, you'll be able to see even how many are watching. I'm trying to see if I can just look at that quickly, to see how many people are actually watching what you are doing here. So if you stand away, if you do not put yourself in, then it will be difficult to request for anything or to benefit anything. You need to first know what APWEN is able to deliver. Then you yourself will be able to request, this is what I can benefit from here. And how do I benefit? This is what I can contribute myself. And that is just the way to go. My YouTube is still loading, but once I get how many are here, I'm going to let you know. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, someone's there that says she's the one coordinating YouTube. How many people are online? The coordinator of the YouTube channel now. How many people are online? How many people are viewing? Can you check?
Okay, so while she's checking that, and I'm sure she's going to get back to us as soon as possible. I also have a question for you.
Yeah, so I can see it says 18 are watching now on YouTube, and then we are less than 30 here. So that means we have a total, we are about 30 now. Then we have less than 50 engineering students. Okay, I think something is happening. Okay, I think I know what happened. Let me turn off my YouTube. Yeah, that was my YouTube.
Okay, ma'am. So,
okay, so what I'm saying is that now we have less than 50 people that are connected here, and we are talking about all the engineering students in Nigeria. So if you are not connected, so if now I need something and I can only pick this moderator, for example, is it because I like her face because she's wearing a hijab? No, she's the only one that I know. That's the reason. So if you are not there, you are just not there. So that is the way to go.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the answer that you have given. Okay, so I have another question for you, ma'am. This person says, talking about the right attitude, and you have the right attitude. You're in an organization, and you are diligent, dedicated, and you even took extra efforts to gain certification. However, there is no opportunity for growth or promotion in the career. We're in the same organization with negative attitude, where negative attitude are considered all the time. Now, this person is asking, what would you advise so that they can go forward faster in their career? This person is saying that she has the right attitude and she's dedicated and diligent. However, she's finding it hard to move forward in her career. What advice would you give to her?
If I see what she said there, she said something like there are no opportunities or something there.
Yes, that was what she said.
Then you change, look for somewhere else.
To grow.
Look for somewhere else where you can grow. You have to be deliberate about it. I don't know where you work, but you have to be deliberate about it. You have to know what you want and then pursue it. If where you are does not offer you the opportunity to grow, then you look for somewhere else to work. Before I joined the company where I am now, I remember I used to go to an ant play because technology advertisement in the newspaper then, I think it was Guardian many years ago, used to be on Thursdays also. So, and because I wasn't working, I didn't have any money, I could not afford not that I couldn't afford really, I also wanted to be going out. But what I did was every Thursday I would go to my aunt's office and I would sit there, I would copy all the advertisements in the newspaper that has to do with engineering for that time, and I will apply to everything. So you need to be deliberate. If you don't like where you are working, look for somewhere else where you believe that you can get a better chance and continue to work at it. One of the things that happens is that once you don't get it once or twice, you can actually get discouraged and then you stop searching. But you just need to continue to look out for it. That's the way to go. And if you're ardent at pursuing something, eventually you're going to meet up with it. I have an older aunt and like a mentor who used to tell me that it's something you are pursuing that you will meet. If you're not pursuing it, you are not going to meet it. Okay.
Yes, another question here is this person is asking how they can obtain internship opportunities through Upwen for female engineers. Maybe they have to send an email to reach out to you or something like that.
Well, like I said, one of the things about being in Upwen is that you are in a network. Okay, so if you send a request to Upwen and say, give me internship, I'm a student somewhere, the first thing I want to check is what relationship have you had with Upwen in the past. I won't just say, okay, because you're a woman like me, so come and I'm going to give you internship. It doesn't work that way. So you need to also have been active doing something with us. And right now, Upwen has this mentoring program. I think maybe through the Nuesa president. The next one we are going to have is going to be in September, where we're going to, so it's actually for young engineers. Young engineers in this case means penultimate university year, that's from your year 4, year 5, then up to 3 years post-graduation. And what we do at that mentoring program is that we invite companies from different industries, especially multinationals, to mentor these young engineers. So, for example, the first one we had was on a Zoom platform. We put you in the same room with employers in those organizations. They will tell you about the organizations that you can ask them questions. So it is when you attend this kind of programs that you can actually get such opportunities. But then you're able to say, okay, you give internship. Okay, how can I get an internship there? But you need to be there. Okay, don't just send a letter and say, Appoint, I'm studying engineering somewhere. Connect me with somewhere that I'm going to do internship. Appoint doesn't own a company, but all the engineers there are working somewhere. Okay, and then they are also, so they are your network. So when you are there, it's easy to say, okay, I know this person, she actually works at Bureau, or I know this person, she actually works at Shell, let me talk to her. But you need to be there. Don't stand at a distance and then ask us to just give you something. It doesn't work. I hope that answers your question, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for answering those questions. Thank you very much. I'll be asking engineer. I'll give you a moment, please. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, please keep your questions coming in. Please keep them coming. And most questions here are about Upwin, and I believe that Madam President and as well as Madam Bosede Oyekunle have been doing justice to that. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so the next question here is to Engineer Inenna. Engineer Inenna, this question, this person is asking that you give us an insight to entry-level opportunities for ladies in the engineering profession. Entry-level opportunities for ladies in the engineering profession. Thank you very much, Engineer Inenna.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
I can hear you. We can hear you.
The entry level actually depends if you want to enter the private sector or the public sector. And as it is, we have a mandate from the head of service that was last year. That was NSC, Nigeria Society of Engineers, fought for it, and it came into existence. And some of the ministries have been able to implement, and some are not. So we are now advocating that those ministries that are not implementing the level 10, the entry level for graduates should be level 10. By the time you have your core, now that means you are registered engineer, you should go automatically to 12. So the entry level for engineers in the public service is level 10. But in the private sector, it depends. And usually your negotiation capability on where they will place you. It's not just, most of the companies don't use the levels pattern that the ministries or public services use. So depending on your, I've seen companies, they take 2 people on the same level and they're earning differently. That means it's your negotiation ability that places your salary. So that's what I have to say on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for doing justice to that. Quickly, I have another question from a person who she's saying that she's an undergraduate and she doesn't have a working experience, and she wants to know how she could get to volunteer, even though she doesn't have a working experience. Before I call on,
is that for me?
Yes, my engineering now, please. volunteering without working experience? That's what the person is asking.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you, ma'am.
We can hear you, ma.
Is that my question? At the time
Yes,
it
please.
ceased.
Yes, please. Can you
Okay.
hear us?
Basically, yes. Basically, my president has answered, and Engineer Tunuke has said so. The chairman has said same. Is to volunteer. You have to identify. There is no way around you. You do not have a company of interest that you can go to, or if it's outside the state that you can identify. You have to identify. You have to check the proximity from where you live to the place. All these things come into place before you now apply for volunteerism, volunteerism, the way we put it. So until that is done, there is no way you can learn. And there are some other soft skills you can learn online. You can learn some skills online. Engineer Chioma's company is doing something on that. Engineer Uvicat Foundation is doing something on a training. So you just hook up, they are here already. So you can get the contact. The Nuesa president has their contact, so he can make that available for you. And Upwent, we run, Madam President has said that as well, some trainings, So if you hook up to us and you go to our website, you will see all this and the events, upcoming events. So you'll be able to know. But basically the most important thing is be sure this is what you want. Be sure, be deliberate. That's the word. Be deliberate on what you want and go for it. You can do your research online. Like I said, if you see my profile, I love to research on my own. So there is no way you cannot. Researching is part of training, because you don't know where you find yourself, and what you are researching on might be the topic of the day, and you'll be able to be the one to shine. By the time you are giving your contributions, so to get yourself, and the PPP has been talked about.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you
Your
very
personality,
much.
your passion, and that attributes to that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for your response. Okay, so last and not the least, I would like to ask Engineer Chioma Okoli. The ICT world also we also have issues with women not being up to the number of men in the ICT world. In fact, I used to read on this opportunity website I go to that some opportunities are always peculiar to women because they want to increase the numbers of women who is in the ICT world. So the question this person is asking is how would she compete in the ICT world as a lady? Engineer Chioma Okoli.
Thank you for that question. She doesn't need to compete. You don't need to compete with anyone. So let her not see it as a competition. The simple truth is that I haven't been employing over the years. I've identified one real thing. Women do better than men, even in IT skill. It's just that most at times, they don't believe in themselves. I'm serious. If you see a woman in the IT, both implementation, I have a lady in my implementation team. She's a powerhouse. I have ladies developers, they are powerhouse. One is that they are very careful. You won't see mistake in their work. They are very committed. So for any lady in the WebNet that want to develop skill set in that area, don't see that you're coming to compete. No, just get the right skill. Be visible, like my president has said. Your skill will sell you out. On the area that majority at times, yes, there are so many STEM programs. They want to increase the number of women. Yes. So you find out that majority at times when you go for such interviews, you will see 150 men and you might end up seeing 2 ladies. So because they are not like the number of men, right? You tend to consider or to give them opportunity. But that in quotes, that weak syndrome thing in quotes, it's not applicable to them, because when you bring them into the organization, you see that they are powerhouse. So women should believe in themselves, go for what you want to achieve, whether tech industry or anywhere. In the course of running the IT firm for the last, these are 6 years, I have worked for over about 8,000 companies. In so many government organizations, you will see in so many committees, and you will see me there. It doesn't matter. So don't see the woman thing. Get the right skill, have the self-confidence, and go for it. That's what I would say.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Engineer Chioma, for that beautiful submission. I'll be taking closing remarks from all of our panelists, starting from Madam President. Madam President, thank you very much for joining us and sharing from your wealth of experience. We would like you to share your closing remarks, a key takeaway for all of us here now, Madam President.
I think I'm on now.
Yes, ma'am, we can see you and we can hear you.
Okay, well, I will just say, particularly for the female engineers, you've already chosen to be in this profession, and you have to do, and this of course applies to the men also, but you have to do all it takes and all it requires for you to get there. And for example, APWEN was formed like 37 years ago by 6 women only. They took the bull by the horn and then formed this great association that's like a 3,000 member association today. So that is to say that don't allow anything to stop. Of course, you can imagine that when they were going to start, the male engineers would have said, no, why do you need to separate yourself? This and that and that. So take the bull by the horn, take on the big goals in anything that you are doing. And that is the way to go. And like I said again, network. Don't shy away. Don't put yourself in a corner and just be there. Make yourself visible. Let the people see you. And continue to forge ahead. And you will surely get there. Don't drop the ball at any time.
Thank you very much, Thank you very much, Madam President. That was Engineer Fumilola Ojelade, and she is the current president of the Association of Professional Women Engineers in Nigeria, APWEN. I would like to take the closing remarks from Engineer Chinyere Inena Ibebwe. What would be your parting remarks as we draw this event to a close?
Thank you, Azizat. My parting remark to our young engineers and students, just like as said yesterday by Professor Dauda Momo, the CDS. So I'm trying to take the CDS into your life. That's the content. What content are you planning? What are your deliverables? And how are you going about it? That is the assets. Again, your focus and your deliberate effort in making sure you come out the best. So I wish you the best, and I wish you top of the day. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Igbebwe. Over to Engineer Atinuke. Kindly share with us closing remarks as we draw this event to a close. What would you like female engineers to take away as we draw this event to a close?
Thank you very much. My parting remarks to our female engineers are continue to acquire more knowledge, continue to add value, to yourself. And so just continue to add that value to yourself. Believe so much in yourself. And while you believe so much in yourself, try to impact others. Don't be self-centered. Try to also pull other people up. Share your knowledge. And I believe that if you are able to do all this and be so passionate with what you do, try to activate all the desires, all the driving desires in you. And this work will make you to excel in your career. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Atinuke Owolabi. Engineer Chioma Okoli, thank you very much for staying with us all through since the beginning of the summit and up to this moment. I would like you to share your closing remarks with young engineers here present. Engineer Chioma Okoli.
Okay, thank you once again. My closing remark for young engineers, like I have in my slide, a link I'm going to share with you guys. Be assertive. Be assertive. Own your own career choice, only because it's actually your passion that you turn to money. Own your own career choice. Trust your skills. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Cultivate friendship, mentorship, those truths about growth that people can see in me today started in Apwen, to be frank. Apwen came to our school way back and selected me. They came for a program called Pick a Girl for Work, so many years back in University of Nigeria in Soka. So mentorship works. Support your co-engineers, your worker. Don't easily get offended. I notice it's one weak area for ladies. We get offended, we give up. So this will be my closing remark. These are tips that will help you to thrive in the male-dominated industry. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Engineer Chioma Okoli. On behalf of the National President of Nuesa, I would like to thank all our panelists for sharing from their wealth of experience. They have shared. I don't think if we were to pay for this conference, I don't know how much you'd be willing to pay, but we've gained so much. I have learned so much, and I believe that members of the audience have learned so much as well. One of the things that I learned is that you should, as female engineers, you should build a track record of diligence and hard work. You should also try to be visible. Just like one of the engineers said, there is no competition. You should always, as much as you can, try to stand out as female engineers. Apwen, just like Madam President has told us, Apwen is very available to help us grow as female engineers, and we can always reach out to them through the college chapters in our universities. So quickly, I would like to know, Mr. National President of Nuesa, if there are any closing remarks from his end. Mr. National President, Engineer so any closing remarks from your end, sir? Okay. While I await the presence of Mr. President. Okay, so members of the audience are very, very grateful, and we hope that in coming times, we'll be able to, when we invite you to some of our physical events, you would be present to honor us. Thank you very much, engineers. Madam President, thank you so much for joining us. And Engineer Atinuke, Engineer Chioma, Engineer Chinyere, and Engineer Corey Shetima in absentia. thank you, Engineer Inena as well. Thank you so much for joining us. By way of closing, we would like to take the second.
Thank you all.
Okay.
I really appreciate the effort of Madam President. Madam President, the main brain behind this program. I appreciate the effort of BTG coordinator, the CEO of BTG, Engineer Chinyere Inena. I appreciate the effort of my mentors and my matrons, the APM president, the member, NSC member secretary, Engineer Chioma Okoli, Engineer Atinuke, and all engineering students. It's nice having you all for this program. This program continues tomorrow with quiz competition and paper presentation from undergraduate students. And on Friday, we have the certification. Thank you all for making this a success. It's nice having you all. Good day.
Thank you very much, Mr.